Have you ever found yourself just caught in a whirlwind of thoughts, maybe anxieties, external pressures, where, true mental clarity feels really far off?
Oh, definitely. That feeling when you're just overwhelmed trying to navigate daily life.
Yeah, and your mind feels like a tangled mess. Purposeful action seems almost impossible.
It's a completely universal experience, that sense of mental saturation, isn't it?
He really is.
Our modern lives, they just bombard us with information stimuli.
Hmm.
It creates this relentless internal hum.
Yeah, it can be incredibly taxing on our inner landscape. It's so easy to lose your footing.
Absolutely.
And today, well, we're going to take a deep dive into an ancient yet remarkably effective practice. It offers a powerful antidote to this mental fog.
Stoic journaling.
Exactly, Stoic journaling. And this isn't just, jotting down notes or keeping a diary.
No, it's much deeper. It's a profoundly philosophical exercise.
And it's self-reflection, perception training, and ultimately maybe a shortcut to sharpening your inner vision.
Our mission today really is to unpack the how and the why behind this, well, indispensable tool.
Right.
We want to show you how the seemingly simple act of writing can clarify your thoughts
Challenge those pesky negative impressions.
and cultivate a more objective, resilient, and serene perspective on life.
Think of it like building your own internal fortress against the chaos.
That's a great way to put it.
We'll primarily explore the enduring wisdom of figures like Marcus Aurelius. His meditations, at their core, they're perhaps the most famous personal journal ever written, right?
Absolutely, a cornerstone.
Yeah.
And we'll also draw significant insights from Epictetus and Seneca.
And importantly, see how these ancient ideas resonate so powerfully in modern psychology today.
Yeah, shaping some of today's most effective therapies. It's quite remarkable.
So let's begin to unpack this incredible journey.
Indeed. It's amazing how a practice from nearly 2 millennia ago remains so profoundly relevant, so impactful in our, hyper-connected world.
The human mind's struggles and triumphs, they're kind of timeless, aren't they?
In so many ways, yes.
And what a place to start this exploration. Marcus Aurelius, his meditations. What's truly astonishing about them when you first encounter them is just their very nature. They really defy what you might expect from an emperor.
They absolutely do. These aren't polished philosophical treatises meant for the public or to sway opinion.
Not at all.
Quite the opposite, actually. Our sources show them as intensely personal notes, profound exhortations to himself.
Exhortations to himself. I like that.
They were his private reminders, his daily mental training, not a book he ever planned for the world to read.
Imagine your most private thoughts, your deepest struggles laid bare, but just for yourself.
That's exactly what the meditations represent.
It's almost mind-boggling, isn't it? Here's this guy, the Emperor of Rome, immense power, all the pomp and circumstance.
Right.
Yet he's diligently writing these intimate self-reminders in fleeting moments of quiet, no less.
During the Germanic campaigns around 172 CE,
He was literally on the battlefield, leading legions, making huge decisions affecting millions.
dealing with real threats like being gored by wild beasts, as one source puts it.
And despite all this, he carved out time for this deeply personal philosophical practice.
It's incredible. His life was so monumental. Apparently, they wheeled a colossal gold statue of him onto the battlefield each day.
Wow. For hero worship.
Yet, privately, he was pursuing this simpler, richer inner life.
It speaks volumes about his commitment, doesn't it, to self-mastery.
Definitely. Despite the relentless external pressures, the huge responsibilities, he consciously cultivated this private philosophy, a simpler life, grounded in Stoic principles.
And these aphorisms, these sequences, they served as his traditional medium of ethical teaching, but directed entirely inward.
Exactly. He was engaged in philosophically inspired contemplation of ethical models.
Not just abstractly, though.
No, actively recalling and reflecting on the virtues of friends, mentors, figures like Thracia, Helvidius, Cato.
Right. He held them up as examples, meditated on how their integrity, their courage could inform his own actions. So it wasn't just about recording what he did, it was profoundly about what he thought.
How he perceived what was happening.
And how he chose to respond. That's key.
His ultimate goal, the sources tell us, was achieving utmost joy in his heart.
And maintaining a cheerful serenity throughout the whole of his life.
Which wasn't just a whim. It was a deep aspiration, regardless of external criticism or those battlefield dangers.
For someone in his position, constantly under scrutiny, facing existential threats, to prioritize inner serenity like that, it really highlights its importance.
Precisely. this consistent daily practice aimed for an inner calm and happiness,
Which the Stoics saw not as fleeting pleasure, but
as the natural consequence of a life lived well, in accord with genuine wisdom and self-discipline.
the fact that an emperor, amidst war and huge responsibility, prioritized this, it just underscores its profound utility.
It really does. It wasn't about recounting events. It was about actively shaping his mind,
Refining his perception, cultivating that inner sanctuary.
which sets the stage beautifully for our next core principle.
That's a perfect lead-in. One of the foundational Stoic principles that journaling helps us not just understand, but really embody.
The dichotomy of control.
Yes. And Epictetus, in his handbook, lays this out so bluntly, it's almost jarring.
He certainly does. He opens the handbook with his very direct, unflinching account of what things are and are not up to us.
So what is up to us, according to him?
Our judgments, our impulses, our desires, our aversions. These, he claims, are free from hindrance and free from impediment.
That's a powerful declaration of our internal sovereignty, isn't it? Our inner world is truly our own domain.
It is. But then
Then there's the rather extensive list of what's not up to us, and maybe uncomfortable for many,
pretty much everything else, Epictetus suggests, is ultimately out of our control.
including things we spend our lives chasing or worrying about.
Our own bodies, material possessions, reputation, worldly success. The big ones.
That's a lot to ask someone to just let go of, isn't it? To accept that so much we value is outside our direct influence.
It is. And this, according to the Stoics, is the very root of so much human unhappiness.
How so?
Epictetus argues powerfully that much of human unhappiness is simply due to misclassification.
Misclassification? You mean thinking we control things we actually don't?
Exactly. The product of thinking we have control over certain things when, in fact, we don't.
So the moment you make your happiness depend on something external,
A relationship, a career goal, even physical appearance.
you've effectively handed over your happiness to the whims of something or someone else.
You've basically given away your peace of mind. It's no longer truly yours.
And the inevitable result is frustration, disappointment, constant emotional turbulence.
We see this play out constantly, don't we? People tying their self-worth to shifting job titles, social media metrics, others' opinions.
All inherently fragile and external, setting themselves up for unease.
Absolutely. The crucial insight here, the sort of golden nugget, is that while external events aren't in our control,
What is up to us is how we interpret them.
right, how we interpret such information, and the truth and value we attribute to it. This is where your inner freedom truly lies.
Okay.
Epictetus emphasizes a concept called prohairesis.
Prohairesis.
Yeah, it essentially refers to the human mind in just those respects that are dependent on nothing, that we cannot immediately judge, decide, and will entirely by and for ourselves.
So it's like your inner command center, your moral compass, your faculty of choice.
Exactly. It's that part of you that assesses and chooses.
So the external event isn't the problem itself, it's our judgment about it, our assent to it, that causes the suffering.
Precisely. Epictetus gives a sharp example. If someone threatens you with death,
Okay.
the real constraint isn't the threat itself, but your decision that it is better to do something else rather than die.
So it's your judgment about the threat, your choice of response that limits you, not the external circumstance itself.
Exactly. Understanding this distinction isn't just academic, it's the absolute starting point for mental tranquility, real liberation.
And this is where journaling becomes such an indispensable tool.
Yes, it provides a direct, concrete way to repeatedly examine and reinforce this crucial separation in your own life.
So when something bothers you, you can literally write it down.
And then explicitly ask yourself, is this truly within my sphere of control?
Or am I trying to steer a ship powered by external winds, so to speak?
Beautifully put. This simple act transforms that passive frustration.
Into active wisdom.
Precisely.
I really like that framing. It moves it from an abstract idea to something practical, something you can do daily. And once you start dissecting those judgments, it leads naturally to the next stage. Journaling for mental clarity. Actively challenging the impressions and thoughts that just flood your mind.
Exactly. The Stoics made a very important, often overlooked distinction here
Between words.
between an impression, which is just a thought, a linguistically formulable notion that one entertains without necessarily being committed to it.
Okay, like a mental whisper. That person looked at me strangely. They must disapprove. Just a raw possibility.
Right, just data input. And a belief,
Hmm.
which is when you cross a significant threshold.
That's when you actually accept the impression as true, give it your stamp of approval, internalize it as fact.
Exactly right. What converts thought into belief is a further mental event,
Which they called.
variously assent, syncotethesis, judgment, crisis, or forming an opinion, doxazine.
Okay.
The Stoics observe that the ordinary mind is, as it would seem, a pushover.
A pushover.
Yeah, yielding easily to impressions which the wise person would resist. It highlights our tendency to just uncritically accept thoughts.
So we need constant vigilance over our internal dialogue. Our minds aren't just passive buckets.
They're active filters, and we need to train them.
That's fascinating because it implies we often vex ourselves with beliefs mostly half-conscious.
That came from nowhere we can name and that tend to make us unhappy and ridiculous.
It's like without realizing it, we were talked into our feelings by our culture and by ourselves.
Which means our bad perceptions aren't innate or fixed, they're acquired.
And therefore changeable through conscious effort. That's incredibly empowering.
It is profoundly empowering.
Yeah.
And Marcus Aurelius hits this directly.
What does he say?
He writes, "If you are grieved about anything external, 'tis not the thing itself that afflicts you, but your judgment about it."
And it is in your power to correct this judgment and get quit of it.
Wow. That's the core philosophical exercise right there.
Hmm.
Identify the impression, analyze the judgment, and actively withdraw assent if it's based on a false or unhelpful premise.
It's constant, active mental housekeeping.
It really is.
So journaling helps us literally write out that process, externalize it, make it tangible,
Capture the impression,
scrutinize the judgment.
and then consciously decide whether to grant it that assent that turns it into a belief.
It's like building a mental pause button, a reflective space between stimulus and response.
Absolutely. Epictetus put it with his usual blunt clarity. The origin of perturbation is this: to wish for something, and that this should not happen.
Journaling helps you spot those often unconscious wishes and the flawed judgments tied to them.
Yes. And by doing this systematic self-examination repeatedly, you're not just observing your mind, you're actively training it, sculpting it.
So you build up that resistance.
The Stoics believed assent in a person of perfect understanding has a kind of strength or good tension.
Good tension, like
Yeah.
mental agility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It enables resistance to unreliable impressions. This good tension isn't rigidity, it's a robust filter.
Built through consistent self-examination, the journal becomes the gym for your mind.
I love that analogy, a gym for your mind. Perfect.
So it's not about being emotionless then. It's about having a well-trained, strong mind that doesn't automatically buy into every fleeting thought.
It's about discerning between what's helpful and what's just noise.
That makes perfect sense.
And this brings us to a fascinating idea.
Mm.
The refutationists in the Stoic schools.
Refutationists.
Yeah. And you could essentially become your own refutationist through your journal.
How would that work practically?
When a negative impression arises, don't just write it down, challenge it. Actively refute it on paper.
So dedicate a section, maybe refutations.
Exactly. You might write, impression, I'm not good enough for this task.
Then?
Refutation, based on what concrete evidence? I've successfully done X, Y, Z before. This thought is just an impression, not fact. Past performance suggests otherwise. I can learn.
That methodical deconstruction, it helps dismantle those bad perceptions causing unhappiness.
Precisely.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Beyond just challenging negative thoughts, Stoic journaling helps cultivate objective perception and build resilience.
It's about looking narrowly into things, as Marcus Aurelius put it.
Such a powerful phrase. Look narrowly into things. Let not the proper quality or dignity of anything escape your observation.
It's a direct call for objective, unbiased perception, stripping away the emotional overlays of preconceptions.
Seeing things as they are in their essential nature, not how our fears or desires paint them. Seeking truth in every observation.
Yes. And one of the most proactive, potent techniques for this is the premeditatio malorum.
The premeditation of future evils sounds a bit morbid on the surface, doesn't it?
It does, but it's actually incredibly practical and profoundly liberating.
Okay, explain that.
Advocated by earlier Stoics like Chrysippus, discussed by Seneca, the core idea is that one should reflect on potentially bad things that could happen.
So that one is better ready to handle them if they ever did happen.
Exactly. Seneca used this to console Marcia on her son's death. He pointed out grief hits so hard because people don't anticipate it.
They haven't mentally prepared for life's inevitable blows.
Right, so it's not about being a pessimist expecting the worst.
It's about being prepared for any eventuality.
You actually take time to write down fears, potential losses, setbacks, and then contemplate in detail how you would respond if luck turned against us.
So you're not inviting bad luck, you're mentally rehearsing.
So you're not blindsided,
Yeah.
not emotionally flailing when challenges arrive.
Exactly. This exercise involves contemplating our vulnerability, the inevitability of loss, and how we'd respond with dignity and virtue.
By consciously rehearsing difficulties in your journal, you dramatically reduce their power to surprise, overwhelm, or paralyze you.
You confront the worst-case scenarios on paper in a controlled environment.
So they lose much of their sting if they ever materialize. It's a profound form of emotional immunization.
Emotional immunization, I really like that. Building inner fortitude independent of external circumstances.
That's the goal.
That sounds incredibly empowering. And then there's the even grander scale, the cosmic perspective Marcus Aurelius used.
Yes, imagining looking down on the Earth from a great height, like astronauts have done since.
Seeing how tiny countries are, how minuscule cities are.
And from that vast impersonal viewpoint, people living in those cities with lives full of cares and concerns, they are practically nothing.
It helps diminish the exaggerated importance we attach to our own position, our daily anxieties, our dramas, puts them in perspective.
A huge perspective shift. It fosters an attitude of indifference, in the Stoic sense, to our body and external contingencies. Helps us step back.
And the Stoic view of nature is key here too, isn't it?
Absolutely. For them, nature isn't blind and chaotic.
It's ordered, beautiful, with rhythms and patterns.
Not composed of dead matter, it is a single living organism of which we are all parts.
Though Marcus sometimes seemed a bit agnostic about whether it was providential or just random atoms.
He did, but his practical conclusion was always the same, whether nature is ruled by providence or blind fate.
The response from us should always be the same.
Accept what happens and act in response as best we can.
So whether it's divinely ordered or just chance, the correct response is acceptance of what is then purposeful, virtuous action.
Precisely, which connects perfectly to that famous dog in the cart analogy.
Ah, yes, attributed to Chrysippus. Such a vivid picture.
It's wonderful. Imagine a dog leashed to a cart. The cart moves forward, predetermined path. The dog has two options. Either gingerly follow the general direction of the cart, enjoy the ride, even explore its surroundings, stubbornly resist the cart, dig in his heels, pull against the leaf.
And end up being dragged, kicking and screaming, suffering needlessly.
The analogy is clear. We humans are the dog.
The universe keeps churning, cosmic cause and effect, and we're tied to its unfolding.
Yes.
So, journaling helps you identify those moments where you're being the stubborn dog resisting the cart.
Resisting the inevitable.
And then you can consciously write down how you might better align with the flow, accept what can't be changed.
Focus your energy on what can be influenced your response, your actions.
Exactly. These practices, committed to paper, transform abstract philosophy into tangible tools.
Tools for confronting life's challenges with greater equanimity, clearer perception. They don't just teach resilience, they help you build it.
Brick by careful brick. Developing internal strength that isn't dependent on fleeting externals.
That's it.
This sounds like a path not just to emotional wisdom, but to really purposeful action.
Helping us not just understand, but actively regulate our internal world, steering it with intention.
Absolutely. And the Stoics had this remarkably nuanced understanding of emotions, didn't they? Still informs modern psychology.
They did. They differentiated first movements, those immediate, involuntary physiological responses.
Like feeling a jolt of nervousness, shock, the urge to cry.
Yes, from full-blown conscious emotions. This distinction is crucial for self-mastery.
So a first movement is like the initial bodily reaction, heart racing, palms sweating.
When a loud noise startles you, or you get a trustful email.
But it's not necessarily the emotion of fear or anger itself yet. That requires a cognitive judgment.
Precisely. An emotion in the Stoic sense isn't just an impulse. It's a motion of the psyche toward something, rooted in a judgment.
Like Seneca described anger.
As a temporary madness, a disease of the body characterized by swelling.
Once anger takes hold, it compromises the whole mind.
Like having been thrown off the top of a building and hurtling towards the ground, completely out of control, a loss of rational faculty.
That's a visceral image, and journaling helps catch those first movements before they become full-blown emotions.
By forcing you to examine the underlying judgment, seizing that crucial moment of pause before ascent.
That's the whole game right there, isn't it?
It really is. Pause. Reflect on the impression, the physiological response, then consciously decide whether to grant assent.
Preventing it from spiraling into an uncontrolled passion that dictates behavior.
This consistent self-monitoring cultivates what Epictetus calls the right attitude towards life.
Right, the play analogy.
Exactly. You haven't chosen your role, you don't get to decide what happens, you have no control over how long it will last.
So rather than fight what's out of your control,
Your task is to play the role you find yourself in as best as you can.
so your journal becomes a space to reflect on your roles: parent, citizen, professional, friend.
And assess how you're living up to them.
Yeah.
Embracing your nature as a rational social being.
An active self-assessment, a daily character development workshop.
Exactly. And this ties into Seneca's powerful insistence on the value of time, very relevant to journaling.
What was his take?
He argued vehemently that all of us have more than enough time. The problem is that we waste most of it.
He saw tragedy in frittering away precious moments on trivialities or anxieties.
He recommends philosophy as the finest and most worthy activity. And by philosophy, he means
Thinking, learning, reading history and literature, reflecting on the past and the present.
activities journaling is perfectly suited for.
That's profound. Your journal becomes a tangible record of this intentional reflection.
Ensuring time is spent on what truly matters for your inner life, your character. A commitment to not wasting those moments.
Deliberately carving out time to invest in your inner self.
And Epictetus himself gives direct, actionable prompts for this.
Really? Like what?
He urges us to regularly stop and take stock, to sit down and determine which things are worth valuing and which things are not, which risks are worth the cost and which are not.
He literally offers journaling exercises.
Yes, asking questions like, how did this week's practice go? Did you find yourself catching your impulses more often?
What were your reactions to the questions? How did your reactions affect your actions? Write some reflections.
Those aren't subtle hints, they're direct instructions. Write it down.
He even asks, what areas of suffering did you work with this week? More success with some areas over others. Why do you think that is?
Write out your thoughts about how this week of practice went for you. Clear calls to reflective journaling.
Designed to lead directly to constancy, freedom from perturbation, and from passions.
Allowing you to live with a light heart and bearing easily the reins. It's an instruction manual for inner peace.
Exactly. A practical, iterative process of self-improvement, building that consistent habit of self-awareness and self-correction.
Ensuring your actions align with your highest values.
And what's so compelling is how these ancient ideas aren't just history. They directly influence modern psychology.
The connection is undeniable. Aaron T. Beck, pioneer of cognitive therapy.
Author of Cognitive Therapy of Depression.
He explicitly acknowledged the debt, stating, the philosophical origins of cognitive therapy can be traced back to the Stoic philosophers, a direct lineage.
And it goes beyond Beck. Albert Ellis's Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, REBT,
also owes a significant debt to Stoicism, and Ellis had a huge impact on modern psychotherapy.
So the influence of Stoic thought, especially challenging irrational beliefs on how we understand mental well-being today, is immense.
Absolutely. And we have to mention Viktor Frankl's logotherapy.
Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, his work is so powerful.
He characterized logotherapy as a type of existential analysis, emphasizing that meaning is discovered, experienced, and lived out in choices that engage the circumstances of life.
Which connects directly to the Stoic focus on attitude and choice and suffering.
Especially when externals are beyond control. Frankl famously said, man is ready and willing to shoulder any suffering as soon as he finds meaning in it.
It's that same Stoic principle of finding internal purpose and control, even amidst profound suffering.
It really is, showing the enduring, practical wisdom.
And there's even empirical evidence now supporting these practices.
There is a large global online experiment, over 20,000 people.
What did it find?
That just living like a Stoic for a week might improve their sense of well-being.
And longer practice yielded better results.
Yes, a month-long experiment showed even greater benefits. Sustained practice deepens the results.
And here's the really interesting part, maybe challenging stereotypes.
What was that?
Against all the stereotypes of Stoicism being cold or detached, the trait that increased most was zest.
Zest, a feeling of energy and enthusiasm for life.
Exactly. It completely flips the misconception of Stoicism being emotionless or joyless. It suggests it actually frees up energy.
It absolutely does. By cultivating inner calm, objective perception, managing judgments, you free up immense mental energy previously consumed by worry, frustration, unchecked passions.
And that liberation leads to a more engaged, enthusiastic, vibrant approach to life. Lets you fully inhabit your experience.
That makes perfect sense.
We can also look at analogous examples, maybe non-Stoic ones, of perception shifts through reflection, like Montaigne.
Michel de Montaigne, after his near-fatal accident.
A profound personal crisis. He described himself afterwards as energized, curious, and no longer afraid of death.
Looking in the eyes had been a relief, even inspiring.
And this led him to retire and write his famous essays, showing how deep personal reflection, even triggered by trauma, can transform one's life and relationship with fundamental fears.
It's a testament to the universal power of introspection, regardless of the specific philosophical label.
So what does this all mean for you, listening right now, this ancient spiritual exercise of Stoic journaling? It's not just academic.
Not at all. It's a practical, proven path to greater self-awareness, emotional regulation.
And a more resilient, objective perception of the world around you. A clear, actionable way to navigate life's complexities.
Indeed, a comprehensive toolkit for cultivating wisdom, maintaining peace amidst turbulence, and truly living a life of intention and virtue.
By consciously engaging with your inner world.
So to recap, we've seen how Stoic journaling, exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, serves as this indispensable tool for clarity.
For actively challenging negative impressions, building profound inner resilience.
It's about consciously training your inner prohairesis, your faculty of choice.
To master what's truly within your control, your judgments, and your considered responses to life.
In a world filled with information overload, constant external pressures, so much noise, this practice offers a sanctuary for your mind.
It lets you filter out what doesn't serve you, confront your biases, your irrational beliefs.
And consistently align your actions with your deepest values, leading to a more intentional, meaningful, and ultimately fulfilling existence.
Now, for a final provocative thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Epictetus stated, "You bear God about with you, poor wretch, and know it not." Do you think I speak of some external god of silver or gold?
A powerful question.
So if your inherent capacity for reason, for objective judgment, for discerning what's in your control, for choosing virtue, if that is a fragment of the divine within you.
What responsibility does that impart?
Exactly. What profound responsibility does that impart for the careful daily cultivation of your inner world through reflection?
And how much more profoundly, how much more purposefully can you truly live when you consciously recognize and engage with this inherent power?